Hello, my name is Jacob Gardner. Today we're going to be talking about a movie called Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan's a war movie that's about 3 hours long. It's very action-packed from the start. It's rated R. It was made in 1998. Lead cast role player where it was Tom Hanks. He played Captain John Miller. And the movie was a 95%. Liked by the most people. It was a 93 Rotten Tomato. The director was Steven Spielberg. The initial release date was July 24th, 1998 in Canada. But let's get right into the movie. The movie basically starts with Private James Ryan, that we do not find out until later into the movie, going up against a gravestone in Denmark. And he gets down on his knees and starts crying with all of his family watching behind and taking pictures. And fast forward a couple of minutes into the movie, we get our first look at Captain John Miller, which was Tom Hanks, getting ready to storm the beach in Europe named Operation Overlord. Well, that was the operation. The name of the beach was Normandy Beach, where he started rushing. Basically, what happened was General D. Eisenhower got all of his allies together to rush Europe, where the Germans were taking place and keeping, because Adolf Hitler wanted all of Europe, and he started attacking Russia at the time. And that was not a good idea, because winter was settling in, and the Russians were very good against winter. And the Germans were not prepared for the Allies to make landfall in Europe on a very good day. So the movie starts off with Tom Hanks, or Captain John Miller, making landfall with his men. And his men, they put down the bridge or the gate to where they can run out, and they all got shot. And Captain John Miller, jumped out just in time before he got shot and made landfall on the beach along with all the other men that were there. And he goes into shock watching a couple of his men die from bullet wounds and very gory things in the movie. So he starts going off trying to rush to the top. He misses a couple bullets, and he gets to the top, and he gets his men to explode the barbed wire so they could rush in. And a little bit past that in the movie, maybe 5 or 6 minutes more into the movie, they get their first look at capturing the German outpost and their guns and stuff like that. And then 20 minutes later into the movie, Captain John Miller gets his first mission to get Private James Ryan. So he gets details to go find Private James Ryan, whose 3 brothers were just recently killed in combat, and they wanted to send him home so his mother could come home to one of their sons at least, instead of all of them being dead. So they go on this journey knowing that they could die at any time from being ambushed or being seen by Germans. So they go behind enemy lines to go find one person, which was Private James Ryan, which was the old guy in the beginning of the movie, but we do not find that out till later. So John Miller takes his brand new platoon, or his brand new men, and heads out hoping to find James Ryan, but they run into combat with Germans. So in the middle of the movie, they realize that they're kind of pinned, but they successfully get out by using their resources, by hiding and exploding the Germans' tanks and their men, and just finding ways out of it, trying to sneak around the buildings and stuff like that. And then they get caught up in a fight with another platoon, and he keeps asking where's Private James Ryan, because that's the man that he's currently looking for. And they tell him, he's all the way up north trying to destroy a bridge that the Nazis are trying to use to bring their tanks over. So Tom Hanks, or Captain John Miller, takes his men all the way up north to go find save Private James Ryan. And he runs into the Germans, and it was a pretty nasty war, because the John Miller was shot at, and he didn't die, but he was shot at a couple times, and he was fine from the bullet wounds. But a couple of his men did die from a tank and the Germans advancing on him. But they somehow snuck away just in time before reinforcements got there to block them in and to block them in, and so they couldn't sneak away or anything. But Captain John Miller and his men snuck away just in time before the reinforcements got there, and they locate where Private Ryan was currently at, because he's been moving post to post, and they found Private James Ryan, and they tell him, like, hello, like, I'm Captain John Miller. I was sent here to come find you. Your 3 brothers were killed in action, but listen, we need to set up this defense post, and we need to help. And Private Ryan said, I'm not leaving until we protect this post, and these men are okay. So Captain John Miller set his men to protect the post, and they had a booby trap getting ready to explode it, and something went wrong where they had to manually blow it up. So Private James Ryan would volunteer to do it himself, but knowing that he could get killed in this, Captain John Miller took away the remote and did it himself, saving James Ryan so he could go back home to his family. But also, Captain John Miller did die in the movie due to his heroic services about exploding the bomb so the Germans could not advance and scaring them away. So they started backing up. But the end of the movie sets on John Miller, Captain John Miller, like telling like Private James Ryan, it was an honor protecting you. Like, thank you for all you do. Thank you for your service. Thank you for always being who you are. And sadly, Captain John Miller, or Tom Hanks, passes away in the movie. And a couple minutes later, we find out that Private James Ryan was the one that actually, the old guy at the start of the movie, who was crying. And he grew up with a family, and he never came back, except that day when he was on his knees crying because he saw that he's seen Captain John Miller's grave, the man that actually saved him. But that's basically the self-evaluation of that movie. In my opinion, it was a very action-packed movie. I really liked it. There's some realistic fiction there because in the war, that's happened a lot, because a bunch of siblings have died. Some people were sent on missions to go save somebody, but the way that they did it, I don't think it was very realistic in a way where they went behind enemy lines to go save them. But I do believe that they did send captains and stuff like that to go find other people to save them before. I personally really like this movie because it shows some heroic behaviors going on in the war, which a lot of people were. Everybody that went to war was very heroic in their own way because they always contributed. They gave their lives to us so we could have the land that we have today. Private James Ryan realized this after the death of John Miller. He really took his life. He didn't take life for granted. He knew he was happy that he was alive, but at the same time he was sad because John Miller had to die to save his life. But in the movie, Private James Ryan was very thankful for what Captain Miller did for him in any heroic way. He was kind of like a father figure to him, and he also was very depressed after that, after knowing that I just watched the man that just tried to save me die in action right in front of my eyes when that should have been me. But in the movie, it shows that not everybody is invincible, but some people have to sacrifice their lives in order to save others. So basically, while they were searching for Ryan, their own strengths were the reasons why they were there to save him in the first place. Their own strengths got to where they needed to go with their men, basically. All the men that he took had their own strengths to help them find him. But the thing with me, the thing that I think about is that Captain John Miller did the right thing, but he should have gone down as a very heroic person for going behind enemy lines and saving them. That's just my opinion. I don't know how you think about it, but this is just a summary. In my opinion, I'd rate this movie 10 out of 10. I would definitely watch this movie with my kids when they get older, or if you just really like war movies, I would definitely have them watch it, but like I said, it is rated R. It has a bunch of gore and a bunch of language in it, and it shows about like real life events. So I would wait, but I'd wait for them to get older until they're mature enough. But I very personally really like the movie, and I think that it should be a must to watch. If you're ever, it's a late Saturday night and you need to watch a movie, I think this is a must. Thank you, and have a good day.